Now we're going to have a video clip from our next candidate, Ms. James Sarawat from the Institute of Foreign Languages.
Lần tôi sẽ nói về video clip tôi sẽ nói về clip của nhà chết thảo luận về một video tham gia vào mình.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Sarawat. I am 20 years old. I represent the Institute of Foreign Languages, and I am a designated library. Now it comes the time for me to go up on the stage. There are so many butterflies in my stomach right now, so please enjoy your support.
Alright, please give a warm welcome to
Testing. Okay. So, good afternoon, His Excellencies, judges, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon, the topic that I will be speaking to you is, should ASEAN copy the European Union cooperation model? And with or without an economic and monetary union? Before taking my stance and elaborate on this topic, I would like to explain some key concepts in this topic. The first one, European Union cooperation model. What is it? It refers to the integration of all countries in Europe who are the member of EU in terms of economic, monetary, and culture. And what about economic and monetary union? Economic and monetary union simply refer to the single currency, like euro, and the single market, which means that all of the products that are exported to the European world, to America, is no longer the product of Thailand or the product of Cambodia, but the product of the ASEAN. Okay, so I would like to show my sense. I would like to agree on this assertion based on three reasons. The first one is about the economic development of the countries in ASEAN. And the second one is related to the social-cultural development. And the last one, it is about the presence of the leaders and diplomat relationship. Okay, so allow me to elaborate on the first argument, which is related to economic development. So when it comes to the union cooperation in ASEAN country, it means that all the countries use only one single currency, and this really encourages the tourists from all over the world, and not to mention about only one visa for all the countries in all ASEAN countries. So when the tourists from America or other EU countries come to Asia, they only need one visa and to travel all the 10 countries as well as the same currency. And the other reason of using the same monetary is that when one country in Asian member facing the economic downturn, the other countries would try and would join hands and to help those countries to recover, just like what happened in Greece. Okay, and the second point, I would like to touch on the free labor movement. So when it comes to free labor movement, labor in one country can move freely to another. And when, for example, if the labor in Cambodia move to Thailand or move to Singapore, they are able to earn higher income and they can send back those money, which have increased the GDP of Cambodia. And the other point that I would like to talk about is that the barrier of trade between countries in ASEAN will be eliminated. Why? Because the tariff is zero, and for the resources, just like oil and other rare resources, the tariff will be lower, and this really enable the country who wants to export more. For example, if Cambodia used to produce only for the 15 million people, now Cambodia is producing for the 160 million people of all Asia. And let us look at the countries who are import. And I want to raise an example of countries like Laos and Cambodia, because mostly they would want to import rather than export. And those countries could also gain. Why? why? Because the cost of production in the country is higher than the cost that they import from the other country, and this really have gained a consumer surplus. Us as the users can get a wide variety of products with higher quality and cheaper price. And the other point I would like to touch on is the socio-cultural development. So when the country integrates together, people like us could be exposed to different cultures from Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, and then we can decrease the stereotype between the country. We can decrease the stereotype that Vietnamese allow people how loud they are. Let's get exposed to them. And that's what I mean by socio-cultural development. And also, I would like to touch on the terms of technology. So when there is a freer flow of investment and labor, so people with special skills can move to the other with low skills, and then they can share the understanding of technology. And the last point that I would like to talk about is the diplomatic relationship. Even if the leaders in countries in Asia face or get into the meeting in every ASEAN summit, that is not close enough. They still have different points of political view. They still have different points. That is why when ASEAN integrate together, they can gain the understanding. United we stand, divided we fall. So let all the ASEAN come together as a one country and one community. Thank you.
So thanks for your inspiring speech. So the question for you that I would like to ask you is, what do you think, which country that receive most benefit from this when we adopting the cooperation model? Whether the rich country or the poor country, or they are equally receive the benefits?
Thank you for your question. As we know that all countries in Asia, basically ASEAN countries, are moving toward the ASEAN integration in 2015. And I believe that all of the countries in Asia will be able to gain from this integration. Why? As I have mentioned, for the developing countries, they are able to export more products, and they are able to receive cheaper labor from the countries like Cambodia or Vietnam. And what about the developing countries like Cambodia or Laos or Myanmar? We are able to export products which is cheaper, and this can help our people and our economic in a way. And if we see Cambodia, Myanmar, or Laos, or Vietnam, even if it is a slow progress, but I want to ask you, is there a development? Yes, there is a development, but everything has to start from a small step to a bigger one. Thank you.
Satyarat, I'm really interested in your inspiring topic. Just now you strongly agree with the topic that the ASEAN should copy the European Union cooperation model. Why not ASEAN set its own model? Why should ASEAN copy? Why not ASEAN set its own model?
Actually, ASEAN already has their own model, because the ASEAN, the 10 countries, actually there was no ASEAN yet before 1967. But suddenly all of the 10 countries decided to join together, and that is the formula that we have. But we feel somehow that this formula is not enough to accelerate the development in terms of economic, in terms of culture. And that is why we decided to take on another formula, which is the European Union cooperation, and want to put it in to accelerate our growth and hoping for the development for this generation and the upcoming generation.
My second question, what are the advantages and disadvantages for Cambodian people when ASEAN formed the ASEAN Community 2015?
Thank you for your question. I think that everything is like a knife. There is a cut and there is another one that is safe. Everything comes in two ways, and I think that for the development, as I have mentioned, we can export cheaper products, as our country it has a tendency toward importing. So our people can enjoy the product with higher quality but cheaper price. And another point would be the technological development. Yes, and there will be drawback, but I believe that the development is higher than the disadvantage. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we come to the last candidate from the senior championship category, Mr. Net Inerositise. And first of all, we will watch his video.
And thenនេះគឺសមាជិកឯកជនចុងក្រោយនៅក្នុង category senior championship គឺលោកអដរាសធីទេដែលអញ្ជើញមកពីសាកលវិទ្យាល័យប្រទេសអន្តរជាតិ
I am currently 18 years old and I represent LT International University and I'm competing in the senior category. I have put much effort into this competition until I made it to the final round today. So today I hope that you will continue to feel sympathy for me and continue to support me to the very end. Thank you.
Now please warmly welcome Mr. Net Inerositise.
តែនេះសូមប្រាក់សម្ដែងអង្គវិធីតែមួយដែលបានស្វាគមន៍លោក Net អដរាសធីទេ
Good afternoon. It is truly a privilege to stand on the stage before you today to talk about a very serious topic that Asia is currently facing. The topic goes by the words, Asia should pay attention to economic development than climate change. I personally have two views upon this topic alone. That means I both agree and disagree. The following speech, I will elaborate why I agree and disagree. First, I would tell you why I agree. In many parts of Asia, the countries in Asia are still underdeveloped or are still developing in terms of economy. Countries like Japan, Korea, Singapore, and Malaysia are all developed countries, but other countries, especially those in Southeast Asia, are still underdeveloped or are still developing. Countries like Cambodia, Laos, and Timor-Leste, for example. This is actually the main reason why we joined ASEAN in the first place. Because ASEAN was created with many objectives in mind, and one of the main objectives was to develop the economy of each ASEAN country members. And over the years, ASEAN has been attempting to bring the ASEAN countries, members that are still behind in terms of economy, up to pace, up to speed with the other developed nations in ASEAN, so that they are ready for the 2015 ASEAN integration. Now, I would like to shift your focus back to why I disagree with this topic particularly. I would like to bring one country in Asia as an example, China. The rate of that the Chinese economy has been rising over the years, the past decade, is over 10% every year in the last decade. That is in fact impressive. In fact, it is extraordinary because no other country in the world has been able to do so except China. However, because of all these economic developments and developments that China has been able to do, what are the negative effects that has affected the country and the people? You may have known or seen over the news that China has been covered mostly with smog, that is smoke and fog mixed together, covering its main cities like Beijing. Let's bring Beijing into perspective. Beijing, the people living in Beijing have to wear masks when they converse outside to work or to school because the air is so bad and so unbreathable that they have to cover their nose with masks. So maybe the Chinese government should soon put videos of sunrise in their cities because the smog is so bad they can't even hardly see the sun. No, just kidding. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that because of all those economic developments, they let the environmental issues become a main problem, and it has changed their climate over the years. So to sum up, I have one main thing to say is that the countries that are still underdeveloped or are still developing should, of course, shift their focus into economic development only and let the climate change issues leave it to the developed nations like China and other nations to take care of that topic issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ned Inerositite. Now again, please, would the judges ask their questions?
Sumakunta Lord Inerositite na alaninig niyo sa kategorya ng kakangka na ba ito mo?
Thank you very much. I would like to ask you to elaborate on how would you fight climate change in your view.